An apology can either heal or it can make the wound fester. Jimmy Kimmel returned to late night after his suspension for comments surrounding Charlie Kirk's murder. He gave what many people called an apology, and other people just heard words. No matter what you call it, his message didn't land with everyone, and that's what I want to talk about. Let me make this abundantly clear. This video isn't about Jimmy Kimmel, the person. It's about the psychology of an apology. In this case, his apology, why his statement fell flat to many, and what research says makes apologies effective. Let's break down what Jimmy said. Take a listen.
I'm hearing a lot about what I need to say and do tonight. And the truth is, I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind.
Let's pause right there. Notice what he's doing. Instead of starting off with his own thoughts, things that he was thinking about during this past week, he starts off with what other people told him to do and say. Then before he's even said much, he adds, and if you like me, you like me, and if you don't, you don't. That's not reflection. Do you know what that is? That's prejudging the audience's reaction. He's predicting how people will respond instead of sharing exactly how he's been feeling and what he's been thinking. Psychologically, that's a self-protective defense. It puts this shield up. It's like he's saying, you can't hurt me because I already know that some of you don't like me. But here's the problem. Both supporters and critics aren't looking to be prejudged. You know what they're looking for? They're looking for his thoughts, his feelings, his accountability. And when you prejudge the audience, it feels like you're managing their reaction, not connecting with them. And that tone makes everything that follows harder for people to trust. So, okay, he starts by prejudging the audience. Now listen to what happens next.
I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do.
You know, he said it was never his intention to make light of the murder of a young man. He avoided Charlie Kirk's name at first, calling him a young man. Clinically, that's distancing language. It creates space from the emotional weight of the name. Only later, as you'll hear, did he say Charlie Kirk. Naming matters. Saying the person's name humanizes them. Avoiding it makes the apology feel abstract, not personal. You heard his voice crack. That signals real emotion. But because he front-loaded defenses, some people doubted that it was real emotion. That's the cost of prejudging your audience. He weakened the connection with them before he even created one. So there's a mismatch. His voice shows emotion, but the way he set up his statement was defensive. And that framing made it harder for some people to trust him. And audiences fill and see that gap. We're wired to notice inconsistency before we process meaning. His hands stayed in his pockets, which reads as discomfort and possibly holding back. He swayed from side to side, which signal that he wasn't grounded. Those cues say nervous, stressed, uncomfortable, which is completely normal when you have to admit fault, mea culpa. It's definitely okay. Psychology tells us that order of an apology matters. The brain trusts the apology first, followed by the explanation. If you reverse it, people don't believe the apology is sincere because, they only hear excuses. And even honest emotion like Jimmy's can come across as uncertain then. If he had named the harm first, that same crack in his voice would have landed as sincerity and not spin for many people. And here's a quick qualifier. His supporters will give him the benefit of the doubt because they like him. But people who are on the fence and critics look for alignment. They need to hear the apology before the explanation. They need to see the words and the body tell the same story. Watch what happens next.
Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way.
He said maybe it was ill timed. That's a minimization. By framing it as timing, the implication is another time those same words might have been fine. Some people in the audience could hear that as a justification, not accountability. And clinically, that's a cognitive reframe that soothes the speaker but frustrates the listener. Take a listen to what happened next.
I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And also, selfishly, I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So that's what I wanted to say on that subject.
After naming Charlie Kirk, he pivots to himself, talks about the threats that he has received. An apology researchers call this self-referencing. It redirects focus away from the harmed person to the speaker's own suffering. And from a psych lens, it's self-protection. But to the audience, it feels tone deaf because grief isn't about equivalence, it's about acknowledgement. So why did some people push back after hearing his statement? Because they were really listening for three things. And a clear apology first, explanations second, and a focus on impact, not intent. And see, the sequencing works. Harm, responsibility, impact, and repair. Here's how his apology could have started off. And this is just one example, and definitely not the only way to start an apology. But it could have sounded something like this. Charlie Kirk's death has left his family and many others in pain, and my words added to that pain. And I'm sorry. I take responsibility for what I said. I shouldn't have assigned blame. Do you hear the difference there? Then he could have gone on to provide an explanation and what he would do moving forward. That would have been seen as more sincere because it starts with harm, then responsibility. Then people are more open to hear about intent and explanations. And then you end with repair or how you're going to make amends. That order makes people feel seen and acknowledged and respected. The lesson here is universal. Whether you're watching or whether you're on national TV or in your living room, apologies aren't about intent, they're about impact. And if you want to de-escalate conflict, remember this. Apology first, explanation second. Keep the spotlight on the person who was harmed, not on yourself. And if this breakdown helped, like, follow, subscribe, and share the video. I use psychology and body language to help you see what's really happening beneath words. I'm Blanca Cobb, a body language expert with a master's degree in psychology, and I will see you in the next video.